Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how the world almost seems designed to test your patience? You wake up feeling good, determined to have a productive day, and then someone cuts you off in traffic, a colleague interrupts you in mid-sentence, your phone won't stop buzzing with pointless notifications. By noon, you're irritated, distracted, and already drained. And it's not the big crises that steal your energy. It's the little things, those thousand small cuts that slowly bleed away your peace of mind. But here's the truth no one tells you. Life is never about eliminating these irritations. You can't stop the world from throwing chaos your way. What you can do, what you must do, is learn the art of acting as if nothing bothers you. Not because you're numb, not because you don't care, but because you've discovered that your greatest strength is your ability to remain calm when everything around you begs for a reaction. That, my friends, is mastery, and it's rare, because most people give away their power without even realizing it. Think about it. How often do you let a stranger's careless words ruin your mood? How often do you allow one setback to derail your entire day? Each time you do that, you hand over a piece of yourself. Slowly, the world becomes your master instead of the other way around. But when you choose composure, when you pause before reacting, when you carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their direction, suddenly, everything changes. People notice, they sense your steadiness, they wonder what you have that they don't, and in that wonder lies your influence. Here's the paradox. The strongest person in the room is never the one shouting, never the one posturing. It's the one who doesn't flinch, the one who seems unshaken no matter the storm. Confidence isn't about being loud. Confidence is about certainty. It's about standing firm in the middle of chaos and saying, "I will not be moved." Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't about suppressing your emotions. Suppression is weakness disguised as control. What I'm talking about is direction. Emotion is energy, and energy is powerful. Anger, fear, excitement, joy, they're all currents running through you. Left unchecked, they can destroy you. But channeled with wisdom, they can become your greatest allies. Anger, directed properly, fuels justice and change. Fear, examined instead of obeyed, sharpens your awareness. Joy, when invested into relationships or creativity, multiplies. Love, when anchored in purpose, becomes a force that can move mountains. Every feeling has potential. The question is, will you let it drive you blindly or will you guide it? The great tragedy is that most people never ask this question. They react automatically. Someone provokes them and they lash out. Something goes wrong and panic takes over. They believe quickness equals strength, but quickness without thought is weakness. It's being a puppet whose strings anyone can pull. True power lives in the pause, the split second where you breathe, think, and choose your response. That pause is freedom. That pause is strength. And here's where discipline comes in. Self-control isn't a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. It starts small, in traffic, at the grocery store, when a rude comment comes your way. Every time you refuse to surrender your peace, you're building invisible armor. Every time you choose patience over anger, silence over noise, clarity over chaos, you're training your mind. And this armor, this discipline, doesn't make you cold or detached. It actually makes you more alive. Because instead of being scattered by every passing irritation, you're free to laugh deeper, love stronger, and create with full energy. Your emotions aren't wasted, they're focused. Let's talk about silence for a moment. In a world obsessed with constant noise, silence is a secret weapon. Most people believe power is shown through words, talking louder, talking faster, proving themselves with endless explanations. But true power, true influence, it lives in restraint. The leader who speaks only when it matters commands attention. The negotiator who listens more than they talk gains information others miss. The person who refuses to be baited into conflict disarms their opponent before the fight even begins. Silence is not weakness, it's strategy, and it can be the sharpest tool you'll ever use. But silence is only one piece of the puzzle. Faith and purpose is the anchor that keeps everything steady. When you know why you're here, when you know what your mission is, distractions lose their grip. Obstacles become part of the story instead of the end of it. Setbacks are no longer failures, they're training. And this faith is not some blind optimism. It's the clear-eyed conviction that your life has meaning, and that meaning is worth fighting for. You don't need to know every step ahead of time. You just need to know that the road exists and keep walking it. That faith transforms your endurance. Because when purpose matters more than comfort, you stop quitting when things get hard. And here's the beauty. When you live this way, you start influencing others without even trying. Influence through example is the most powerful influence of all. People may not remember every word you say, but they will never forget how you carried yourself. They'll remember how you stayed calm in crisis, how you kept your integrity when others took shortcuts, how you treated people when you had nothing to gain. Influence through example is not about forcing people, it's about inspiring them. It's about living in such a way that your presence gives others permission to rise. That's why victory over self is the highest victory you can ever achieve. You can conquer markets, build empires, gain applause, but if you are still a servant to your own impulses, you are not free. The greatest conquest is to master yourself, to rise above fear, to direct emotion instead of obey it, to choose discipline over distraction, purpose over impulse. This victory isn't loud. It doesn't demand recognition. But it's the foundation of every other success, because the one who masters themselves cannot be mastered by anyone else. Now let's get real. This isn't about perfection. You will fail. You will lose your temper. You will make impulsive choices. But that's not the end, that's the training. Each failure is feedback. Each stumble is a lesson. The goal isn't to never fall. The goal is to return to calm faster every time you do. That's growth. That's strength, that's resilience. Think of it like steering a boat on a river. The current will push you off course, the storms will rise, but the master always brings the boat back to center. So here's the challenge I'll leave with you. Stop giving away your power so easily. Stop letting strangers, setbacks, or small inconveniences command your inner state. Decide today that you will build invisible armor. Decide that you will treat emotion as energy, silence as strategy, and faith as your compass. Decide that you will live as an example, not just a voice. And above all, decide that you will fight for the greatest victory there is, the victory over self. Because when you win that battle, you win them all. You walk through life untouchable, unshaken, unstoppable. And that is the life you were meant to live.